we should now be live. Hello everybody. I'm just going to double check everything is working correctly. I believe that it is. Hello Kairu. Excellent. Everything is working well. How are we doing today? Well, hello Corey. Apologies if you can hear the fans in the background, but the UK is having another snap heat wave over the next couple of days, so it's very, very warm in the computer room. So I have to have the fans on. Right, so today what I want to do is I want to just look at all the free stuff that came in the free update. And then after we've had a look at all of that, use some of the new glass pieces to improve some of my buildings that I've already built. And also generally just look at all the stuff I have actually built. Hello, Big Al. So, first thing to look at, I suppose, is the new square map. Let's have a quick look. I have no idea, Bagal. I don't think so. But this is just... Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. So what... This is supposed to be... Hang on. I'm a bit puzzled. Is the map not the same? Are you telling me that the... It's just exactly the same map? It doesn't take advantage... It doesn't try to look like an island in Hawaii at all? Hello, Wallace and Jack. So it's exactly the same standard tropical map, with just a little bit different water that you can't get to and use anyway. And the trees, I guess. But they're pretty standard of the tropical trees, to be honest. Well, I'm super disappointed with that. What the fuck is the point of that? Like, what the hell is the point of doing this? I don't actually understand. Because if you look at the actual Hawaii... Let's go and have a look at the actual Hawaii map, shall we? Shall we do the flattened version? So we get a good idea of this. Stop, be grateful. What? Why should I be grateful of something that has clearly had no effort done to it at all? I was kind of expecting the Hawaii square map to be this. You know, to have the cliffside, to have the water, to have the waterfalls. You know, to actually look like the other Hawaii map that we have in-game. What's the point of copying the same tropical square map? And all you do is you're changing the tree brush. That's all you've done. What the hell is the point? You might as well build on this. At least this one looks different. Like, what the hell is the point? Okay, I don't see the point of the new map. I think that's kind of pointless. Let's go have a look at Elasmosaurus. Yeah, exactly. There is no point having a square map based on Hawaii if you're not going to make it look like the already present Hawaii map. Hello, AESR. I'm also missing Isla Tacaño. In fact, I intend to do a video on Isla Tacaño and a few other maps quite soon, actually. Right, let's just quickly put in... I really need to rebuild my, like, species testing map again. I'm thinking I might do that as the next sandbox build I do. Well, there it is, in all its dragon-esque glory. And, yeah. I thought for the briefest of moments the spikes on the head look different on the male, but they don't. The spikes on the head are exactly the same for the male and the female. So yeah, definitely no sexual dimorphism at all. And let's just pick a random... let's pick a random skin that's actually quite clear, so we can compare. I don't even see any differences in the skin. That looks damn near identical. They are. They are totally identical. There is no sexual dimorphism on the Elasmosaurus at all. They're identical. Totally the same. The head spikes are exactly the same as well. Like they are no shorter or taller on the male compared to the female. They might be ever so slightly bigger on the male. It's difficult to tell, but I don't think so. I think they're identical. And the skins certainly are. I mean, let's create one of each and double check. One male, one female, same skins. Straightforward. Onyx. Yeah, I'll just go with Onyx. It's interesting you should mention that. I do think actually Evolution 3 should introduce some new methods of powering our parks that are not so restricted to just geothermal power stations. But that's probably something I would do a video on. Well, there they both are. And let's have a look. I mean, yeah. If there is any difference in the spikes, it's way too minimal to see. But I think it's exactly the same. Spikes on the rump and tail. I mean, here we go. We got 4 spikes on the tail. 4 spikes on the tail. Spikes on the rump. Spikes on the rump. They're identical. They are totally identical, and they're actually. I don't see any difference in the skin. Okay. There might be actually a very subtle difference in the skin, but I need to find. Let's go with this. So just in front of the front flipper on this one, we've got like a blob there. Okay, so there is a skin difference, but it is incredibly subtle. It's a very subtle skin difference. It's really only that the marbling has gotten a bit more complex. On this, I assume this one is the male. Yeah, so on the male, the marbling is a little bit more complicated on the neck, but it is incredibly subtle as a difference. It's probably the most subtle difference I've seen. Like, we can probably see it with the tail, actually, because you can see how it just kind of ends there. Whereas here, we've actually got a speckle of color on the tail and a little bit of difference in there. So there are actually skin differences. You got color on the tail. And there's more color on the fin as well. Not much, but a little bit. And the flippers are slightly different as well. They have again a subtle difference in pattern, slightly thicker stripes, but it is incredibly minimalistic. It is a very subtle difference in the pattern, and again, I kind of think Elasmosaurus kind of needed a redesign anyway, because the head is kind of the wrong. It's kind of the wrong shape, and the spikes are a bit much. Ultimately, I think poor old Elasmosaurus. I think you just picked a pattern that blends in with the base color. The pattern is pretty different. Okay, let's try to go with a different. Okay, let's try and go with like white with. I really wish this hatchery. Look, I'm gonna say it. I hate the hatchery viewer for species. Bring me back the species viewer. The species viewer was so much better than this. It just was. Let's I'm trying to actually find a color that actually looks really obvious here. Okay, let's go with Svalbard and Ranux. That seems to be. Oh, okay. You can see it a lot more clearly there. So there is pattern difference in the sexual dimorphism. But there is no physical model differences, which is exactly what we suspected would be the case. There is pattern difference, although, as we've just seen, it's obviously more subtle on some colors than others. Thank you, Evo, for pointing that out. I actually think the male pattern is actually kind of nice. I actually quite like that. The female one is bland, but I actually quite like how that one looks, actually. Kind of reminds me of a coral snake. That might be my new favorite skin for Elasmo. Although for most people, I suspect Elasmosaurus is going to be... I suspect Elasmosaurus is going to be dead on arrival, because... Why... Well, if you brought the DLC, why would you use this over Stixo? Because the Stixo is better in basically everyone. Look how janky that animation is. As I was saying, why would you use Elasmosaurus over Stixo when Stixo is better in every way? It has the Lux skins, it has better skins in general, it has a better social animation, it looks more visually distinctive thanks to its frills and the Lux patterns, and it doesn't have the dragon look that a lot of people don't particularly like. So honestly, I kind of think they've picked the wrong animal to release for free this month. Given we just had Liplorodon as well, I kind of think they should have given us back Carcharodontosaurus or something else. Rather than the Elasmo. Releasing Elasmo in the same month that they're releasing Stixo in a DLC just seems like a good way of ensuring people never use Elasmo. Elasmo is overshadowed by that DLC. It's a shame. I was not desperately waiting for Elasmo to return, Tumbleweed. If I was desperately waiting for any of them to return, it's things like Archelon and Notho and Shoni. And unfortunately, Shoni's return has left a bad taste in my mouth. So, yeah, Elasmo is just, you know, pretty much the same as all the returning animals. Let's go have a look at the new glass. Let's go into that one. I would rather had Chronosaurus and Styxosaurus back for free, and then put Liplorodon and Elasmo in the ones that look like crocodiles in the pack. I mean, I think if you supplied a paleontologically accurate version of Liplorodon and Elasmo, you know, remodeled them, then yeah, I think they would work quite well in the crocodile pack, actually. Right. So, how's going to be the easiest way of viewing this? Because actually the glass is, you know, transparent. So, let's, like, grab a path with patterning on. Right, so... I'm assuming it's going to be in with the walls. Create. Ah, hang on. Yes, here we are. So, we have this type of glass. Which I actually quite like. I think it's less, you know, if I grab this one and put it up against, say, the panels I used here, I think it's less sort of in your face. Like, the fact that the sort of the midpoint border, as it were, is a thinner type of material than the rest of it. It does make it look a bit less industrial, perhaps. And it color-wise, so we can change the color of the surrounds. I do kind of wish that they would give us the option of changing the color of the glass. I want to be able to make translucent glass in other colors. But I actually quite like this design of window. I think it's quite good. I do wish we had some other shapes. The fact these are all square and rectangle, like we don't have a big rectangular piece, which is like half of one of these, and we don't have any circles or triangles or other shapes like that. I think that's a bit disappointing. But yeah, that's you know, it's decent new glass. Let's have a look at the other ones. We need more dirt paint brushes, to be example. I don't think we need more. I think we just need differences between them. I really miss the shale brush from Jurassic World Evolution 1. Like, nothing looks quite as good as, like, river pebbles. Like, proper river pebbles. Like the shale brush did. And every time I make a river on this game, I'm like, I want proper pebbles in my river. Give us back the shale brush. Right. Let's have a look at the rest of this glass then. Okay, so this is all gridded, and it's basically like the standard non-opaque glass we had, so it's all quite thick. Comes in the same type, so you've got like your low walls, your doorways, your curved pieces. These are all gridded. And then you have non-gridded in the same type, so the same thickness, but non-gridded. And then you have a really thin, really bizarre, so this is like two very thin texture layers, and there's a gap between them. But this is obviously if you want to do much thinner glass. And this comes in quite a range of sizes and shapes as well. Like you've even got... Although that is going to be a bugger to line up, isn't it? Because you cannot see. So to get these to line up properly, it's going to be quite the pain in the ass. Like that. It still looks like it's a little bit out. It's about there. Just about. Yeah, it's going to be difficult to use, and you're probably going to have to put in your own borders and stuff, but we can make imaginary aquariums. Well, I was thinking about that, but we don't really have a good enough way of representing water. Like, what we need is, like, water cubed, like just blocks of the water texture, because the fountain pieces are obviously, you know, they're not deep enough water-wise. Corey, you can snap them together. That was just the non-gridded ones. So if you have a look, we actually got them. These are the non-gridded ones. These are the gridded ones. Oh no, those weren't. Those are the gridded ones. Although these are only thick, so you can't have You can't have the thin glass in gridded form. You can only have the thin glass in non-grid. But you can have the thick glass in grid and non-grid. I mean, there's ways around that. Hello, it's ads, even. I'm glad we've got the glass. You know, I'm glad that we've got a range of new glass to use. I think it's disappointing we can't change the color of the glass. Especially when we've got something like this. This little square. If we had been able to change the color of the glass, we could have been able to do some really cool, like, stained glass window effects with this. But we can only change the color of the border. And the standard placeable glass we can't change the color of, which is strange, considering this glass you can change the color of. Because I usually make it orange. In fact, you can see where I've made it orange over there. So, yeah, I do find it weird we can't change the color of the glass. But having proper clear glass, you know, thank God for that. I know there's a lot of different uses for that. Whoops. Whoa. No. Go away. I was trying to select that. Now then, what I'm actually going to do is, I think I'm going to load a new map and start just putting things together. I know this update just came up, but I wonder what the next update is. Well, I'll tell you what I think they should focus the next update on. They should focus the next update on the lagoons. However, I suspect it won't be. They don't seem to want to do much of the lagoons at all. Quite like the temperate map. It's a nice kind of, has a almost Italian or Swiss feel to it, I think. Right. So what I'm going to do is place down all of my din structures that I have built. So, one. This one. This one. I don't think I did one of those. No. Did I do one of those? I did. Didn't do one of those. Didn't touch an entrance. Did I? Oh no, I did. I built my... I built this one, didn't I? Then I think that's all of the din there. I built my din hatchery, obviously. Let's go and have a look at that. Didn't build a din hatchery for the other two yet. That's something I need to work on. Didn't build a din version of this, because we already had one. Did build several versions of a tower, though, so we need to have a look at them. In I'm also primarily doing this just so I can see how much DIN stuff I have actually built and also put it in a collection. So, don't think I've done DIN versions for anything else here yet. No, haven't tackled that. Did do the DIN shelter. Obviously, we have the... Ah. These are not specific buildings to look at yet, although I am going to want to have a look at this one. So that's got a lot of glass on. And the monorail. I have done an awful lot of DIN building. It's nice that someone gives more attention to a free update. Well, I mean, Evo does it as well. Evo does a video on the free update, a video on the paid stuff, and I normally would do the same. Just this time, I didn't buy the paid update. Because as far as I'm concerned, I do not want to support them scamming customers. That's my take on it. Oh, right, yeah, the power plants. I forgot about the power plants. Small one. Back generator. That thing. That one. And the big one. I think that is all the DIN stuff I've built. I think everything else is oh, there's a few other random... Oh, the hospital, of course. And the security center. I forgot about the security center. Think that's everything. Oh, and then obviously fences have to go in. I thought there was one other... No, I think that's it. That is everything DIN I have built, apart from that hotel. That is everything DIN related that I've constructed. Which will all go in one set. One... what are they calling it? A collection. However, what I want to do is have a look at each of these and actually modify some bits. Now, this thing, because we don't have the correct glass to replace this, I'm going to leave this... I'm going to leave the roofs of these as they are. But I think we can change these. So if I edit group, this is actually a very complicated building because this is actually 3 buildings in one. Like this whole setup, like this main building is split into 2 halves, and then the outside is all one aspect as well. So it's quite a complicated structure. Right, let's have a look at the glass. So, blueprints. So let's have a look at it with Opu. No, we want to be using this group. Yeah, we want to be using this group. Ugh. Making sure you're still in the right group for things is very tricky sometimes. Okay, let's have a look. Why is it glowing red? Is it because this building has too many pieces in it? Or is it just to help me see where it is? I definitely prefer it to the glass we were using. Let's have a look and see what it looks like with... Yeah... I don't like that. So it's transparent, but you can still see the side. So you'd have to... Okay, that's a bit annoying. What about if we put this stuff in there then instead? So let's go there, and then there, and then... And this glass has the same problem. The actual edges are obvious, so you'd have to put in your own borders. But I suppose we could probably do that with this stuff. Just what is this? Okay, what is this new thing that they've done? Is it just this build? Hang on, I want to check something. Is it just this building? There's the glass. Fuck's sake. Glass. Okay, it is just that building for some reason. What's wrong? What's wrong with you? Maybe it is too many pieces. Can't be. It's nowhere near the limit. Oh, hang on. Okay. So that's that bit. That's definitely that bit. Those are those two. So why is this one doing that weird... Why was that doing that weird thing? What is that? Is it actually the glass? I'm baffled by that. That looks really bizarre. Is it actually just an effect they have when you're using the glass? No, it is. It is definitely that building. Something about this building is causing that effect. Don't know why. Well, in any case, I actually think we'll go with... In any case, I think we will go with the white rimmed glass. So I think this works correctly. Sorry, I will read chat. Sorry, Big Al, I was distracted by the glass problem. What is the issue? Pretty much all of the buildings I made are on the workshop. Some of them aren't. But once I'm able to put all of these in a collection and then do a YouTube video for them, they will be on there. I really wonder what that weird red effect is, though, because the building is fine. I think that looks good. I do think that looks way better than the old glass. Oh yeah, I know Evo is here. Evo is one of those lurkers. She's usually got me on in the background while she's probably busy doing something else, preparing probably some super amazing build to make me feel shit about mine. Honestly, you never feel as shit on these sorts of games when you see the sort of stuff other people have been able to produce. It's like, my god, there are some people that I honestly think are in the wrong career. There are like people who make Planet Zoo parks and stuff that I'm like, you should be officially trained as an architect. You should be doing this sort of thing in real life. You're in the wrong career path. Hello, Polsky. Yeah, I think this new glass definitely suits. I think this glass will just have to leave as it is. Maybe we'll change the color of this, something a bit darker. Oh yeah, that's way better. That's way better. Yeah, I like that. I don't think there's any other... So yeah, same. See, this glass is, again, this glass will have to leave it as it is because we don't have the sort of shapes required, which is one of my biggest bugbears about the modular building system that we currently have. I think it's really, really annoying that we don't have every single piece in every single shape. Like, what's the deal with that? There must be a reason for it. I just don't understand what it could be. Let's just move this one slightly. And this one slightly. It's a bit narrow in here, but it'll do. And I think that looks fine. I don't think there's any other clear glass needed anywhere in here. Modular building is probably the most divisive feature. I don't agree with that, Kairu. I actually think it's the sexual dimorphism and the babies that are, because you have people like Evo who squeeze over the cuteness of every new baby, and for good reason. For some of them, the baby Amargasaurus and the baby Sauropelta and stuff like that, they are adorable. And then you have people like me who do not give two shits of a whatever the babies and sexual dimorphism is in the game, because in my view it's been badly implemented, because so many species have such limited dimorphism and the babies don't really do anything, and mechanically the game hasn't evolved to make use of them. So I actually think it's the babies and the dimorphism that is the biggest the most divisive feature. I do also think though that modular building is pretty divisive. This building is actually 2-in-1. This is a ranger and maintenance facility combined. I was really happy with how this turned out. You know, the idea that the helicopter pad sort of goes on rails back into the hangar so that they can do maintenance on it, and the garage for the Jeeps has their own little lift and plenty of spare parts and stuff. I went into way too much detail with this particular build. Like the little air traffic control tower on the back, and little staff areas outside for them to rest, and the little Zen gardens for the upper floors, which I don't know why. I just think, you know, let's just have like a little Zen garden for people to go and find inner peace when they're having to deal with like Karen or whoever it is in the workplace that they hate. So I was really happy. Oh, we actually have there's another chunk of glass here that needs to be sorted out. When you work in an office, you do need a Zen garden more often than you think. I used to work for a physiotherapy company that did stuff for the NHS, and I tell you, I needed a Zen garden a lot. Why is that? There's actually a mistake in here, I've noticed. Oh no, it's supposed to be like that. Ah, okay. But this is actually not quite tall enough. How big can we get these? Ah, hello. Just realize these need to change to black. Okay, let's grab that big rectangle. Swell it up in size. Is that the same? It is only the 1.5. Huh. And we want it to be about there. Bye-bye, Evo. Cute. Now get the fuck out. No. Look, there are. I appreciate the fact that the babies are obviously something a lot of people really enjoy, but for me, I don't think there's any point in it if there's not a mechanical change, if there's not correct implementation of them, and I just don't feel that they've been implemented correctly. Like, the animals breed too fast, they don't die quick enough. And most of the time they don't do anything. Yeah, that looks good. That looks way better. Okay, this building can now be multi-selected. 4,164 objects. Right. Make blueprint. Now I need to find... Was it the... No, it wasn't the castle whip. It might have been, actually. I think it was. Okay. Where are we? Yes, we are in the process of upgrading my buildings with the new glass. And I'll put that in later. Lovely. One structure down. Right, let's have a look at this. This one, I don't think has any glass on. But I'm also I'm also looking at these buildings with the idea of, like, do they need any improvements before they go in the workshop? And I kind of think they do. Like making sure the glass in these windows is a bit more visible. If you change the color to like a blue, it makes it look a lot more like glass. I really don't like how these ones have, like... I assume it's supposed to look like dirt, but it just looks like it's broken. I have seen Rob's paleo plants, TJ. They look very good. These back windows. Right, these back windows. We're going to get rid of them. And we're going to replace them with wood ones. I think the wood ones look better. There. Much better. And we're going to change the wood. Actually, I need to go and get... shit. I need to go and get the wood colors correct. Where is my... I don't think the hospital has both colors of wood on it. No. Probably this then. Yes. Okay, we need that brown. And we need this wood color. And I've actually realized I'm going to have to go and make all the wood on this whole building the same. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, that can wait for now. That can wait. Right. Let's do the wooden surrounds first. Those. That's better. Proper DIN wood color. These also need to be changed. I actually quite like my staff center building. I think it looks suitably different to the others that we already have in game. The actual water tower that you're forced to put in every staff center is hidden inside this glass tube. It's hidden out of sight. That's why it's a little bit taller on the top, because I didn't realize it didn't fit in. When Prehistoric Kingdom is truly done, Evolution 3 will look like a Temu version. Wow, TJ. I think that's being optimistic. Right. These need to be changed as well. I think actually we'll change those two. Yeah. These windows will make... Fuck. Better. What has happened here? Okay. I think we need to look at this, because this is a bit... Yeah. Need to change that. I'll have a look at that in a sec. That is not up to standard. Alright, let's just have a quick check around the rest of this. These two need to be this color. That one in there needs to be that color. And honestly, I think instead of having it colored, I think what we'll do is change all that to that. Yeah, I prefer that. That looks much better. Oh, and then we've got a few wooden posts here and there that need color matching. Better. Oh, what's going on down here? I think this one will make dark. There we go. That's better. Matches the color of the rest of like the din buildings. Oh, I suppose this. Are you ever going to make Prehistoric Kingdom videos? I will, but like I've said a few times, Prehistoric Kingdom needs to get to a point where I'm not just making videos where I'm randomly building stuff, because I don't see the point in just making here's a random build video. If I'm gonna start making Prehistoric Kingdom content, I want to actually have something to be doing. Which means they need to, you know, give us a proper campaign. We need a, you know, tutorial campaign. And there needs to be optimization. Because there's just no reason for the game to run as badly as it does. I think it'll get there. Probably next year I'll probably be making proper Prehistoric Kingdom content, but for now, it's just not to a level where I think I can do that at the moment. It's much better. Yeah, from what I've heard, Big Al, they have no plans to bring it out on console. That's something that a small indie team, they just can't afford that process. Which is sad, but it is just one of those things, unfortunately. Now then, what has happened here? This is very ugly. So... Can I raise this up to get it correctly leveled? I see. Looks fine. change the color of these to that delicious chocolate. I think these will change as well. Yeah, I prefer that. DIN. Is it wrong that I see the DIN as like the same as Altera in the Subnautica games? Just as like a really terrible corporation that thinks it's doing a really good job, but actually they're terrible. I think this this one is perfect and ready for workshop properly. Ah, my control center. Now this one has a lot of glass. So I think this one we are going to need to do a lot of changing to. Now then. Let's try the new paneled glass first. So just match the position here. One, two, and then duplicate up to the roof. Let's make it darker. Okay, so that looks pretty decent, I think. I think it looks okay. Let's try something else, though. Let's do a proper, fully transparent glass. So, duplicate. Duplicate there. We'd have to build our own supports for it. Like, we'd probably have to put a metal beam across the middle. Then maybe one... Let's, put any metal beams on this particular... Yes, we do. There, right. So, let's just replicate what it would be like. Let's make them a little thinner. And yeah, so they would be kind of there, and then where's the midpoint? Out there. I can just about see it on there. Yeah, about there. You know, I think I kind of prefer the glass with the more panes in, to be honest. It almost looks, when you have those really, really big clear panes, it almost looks fake. Whereas this looks more realistic, especially because of all the like the panel holding clips to it and stuff. I think that looks a lot better. So we are going to get rid of all of this. Duplicate. Make sure it's in line with the roof. So there. It's funny that after 10 months, we're finally getting glass panes. So humble. Right. Look. I personally think this is the sort of thing we should have had in the game to start with. But then I've said that about so many elements of Jurassic World Evolution 3 and 2 and 1 when we got updates that it's kind of a waste of my breath to say it all again, you know. Ah, this is not quite in the correct place. I didn't think it was. This needs to be more in line. Needs to be about there. So this is all out by just a smidgen. That's better. It's kind of obvious these panels are out because the lights should be pretty much central. There we go. And then let's get rid of these two. And now we just need to fill in that little gap. How big was I able to get this? Oh, it's not quite big enough. Here is a question, because obviously I do intend to do a video on it at some point. But specifically thinking about Jurassic World Evolution 1 and 2, what maps would people actually want to have back? Like, if they decided to do like a map pack DLC, like for like £5 you got a bunch of maps back from the other games, what maps would people actually want in that? I'm curious to know which ones are the most popular. Because I have a few unpopular choices, I think. That looks so much better. I fucking love this new glass. I don't like that though. If I make it the same color, how does that look? Oh, I like that. Yeah, I like that. This panel is a little too high. That looks so much better now with the new glass. Looks way better. Hello, Basti. Claire's Sanctuary map. Yeah, the Claire's Sanctuary map is a quite good one. All the 5 deaths as well. Hmm. The Mortar map with the natural lagoon. It was a like so much of what Frontier does. That natural lagoon was such a good idea. It was a really good idea, but it was really badly implemented. Like, when you have a really big natural space like that, the fact that we didn't really have enough decorative material to decorate it with. Like, because every single piece we had for decorating the lagoons was so small. That's going to annoy me. Why is that wooden pole there? That makes no sense. Let's move that. Oh poo. I fucking love this new glass. Sounds so weird without context. It's just so much nicer looking than the old paneled glass. You can just create a much nicer looking area with it. That's a little bit annoying. Trying to hedge out the distance between them just so it looks more correct. There we go. The only other thing is that none of these poles are in the correct places now. So shift these around a bit. Much better. And again, this slot up here will just have to remain as it is because we don't have the glass in the shapes required to replace it. The Chaos Theory missions, again, was like a really good idea, but also really badly implemented. Some weird texture glitching here. Sometimes just a quick rotate can really help with that. That's better. I think the rest of this building is pretty much okay. So I think that one... Ah. I just realized I need to update all the blueprints, don't I? Staff room... DIN staff center. This one... I can't imagine how people, when they're doing stuff like this, when they have thousands and thousands of stuff. Where is... Oh, there it is. We need a volcano in Evolution 3. It would be nice to have some more, like, active maps like that. With maybe a volcano on, or a proper natural lagoon, or proper rivers and waterfalls. I mean, I would like more natural disasters. I'm kind of bored with the major disaster occurring to my park being, oh my god, it's a bit of a wind. Like, where's the earthquakes? Where's, like, the thunderstorms that JPOG used to have? Ah, this building needs to, needs to have its colors corrected. is? Yeah, I miss like the lightning storms and earthquakes and fires and stuff like that. Just stuff to make the game feel more active, I guess. Sometimes the game has a habit of just feeling kind of not dead, but just kind of inactive. And I feel like some proper thunderstorms and some proper disasters and stuff like that would actually go a long way to making the game better. Of course, the problem is this always ends up rubbing up against the fact that this game, the people who play this game are not a majority of people who play park management titles. This has always been Evolution's problem, is that the game has been marketed to a very basic audience of people who like dinosaurs, as opposed to people who like dinosaurs and play park management games. And that's fine. Universal want the game to appeal to as wide an audience as possible, but it also means that it's just lacking so many details that so many other games of this genre has. Oh, big boat. Well, funnily enough, one of the things. So I was, making sure my Lagoon DLC idea script was finished yesterday, and one of the decorations that I think I would add is like a sunken boat decoration that's the rebirth boat, and have a rebirth boat that floats on the surface as well. Because I'm kind of surprised the rebirth DLC didn't actually introduce that as a decorative item. Oh, you got some texture creep over there. Right. That is all this wood sorted out, and I'm pretty happy with how this looks. Don't ask me why there's a random pipe that comes out the wall here and then goes back into the wall there. It's just a random pipe. I was quite pleased about my roofing elements. I quite like my little setups here. And then I have the little garden on the interior side. Ah. Let's give this an upgrade. Oh, wrong color. There we go. I'm surprised there's not... It's not plant in the game. It would make more sense on one helicopter. I mean, I would like them to give us the opportunity to place down the helicopters and the jeeps and that sort of thing around the park as placeable decoration. It kind of bugs me that we don't have the option of doing that. Count. It's not doing it over here. It's very annoying. Ah, I think that one is also done. Science Center. Statue update with, yeah, with Hammond's statue back. I don't know. I've been thinking about this over the last few days, right? Because I know for a lot of people, they just don't care about, you know, the resold species in the DLC or the fact that the game is got problems, you know. The old adage of can't you just be happy with what you have? And I have been seriously thinking about that. I just can't get over seeing areas where I would fix things. Ah, my DIN arrival point I built specifically for my Azores bug that is still desperately in need of actually restarting. But the one I'll put on the workshop will just probably suggest people delete that and do their own thing. Has a little car transport area, 2 helipads with a departures and arrivals lounge in there. Little Japanese style tiered garden arrangement, which I was really happy with. But yeah, this one is also going to need significant work. Starting with this up here, because this we can actually replace, I think, with the proper clear glass. You know, it's strange. I just don't like how the clear glass looks. Interesting. Again. Just looks so much better. You know what I think it is? The old glass. Is there a patch here? Yeah. The old glass, it kind of has this weathered texture effect to the metal, which it just makes it look kind of... It just doesn't look very nice. Whereas this is just, it's clean. So it just looks so much nicer. One of our buddies, in Essex, went and saw the eclipse, or rather used the trick of, getting the piece of paper and the glass or whatever it was to have a look at it. I mean, I saw the big eclipse that was quite a few years... Well, I think I was 11, 12, something like that. And, kind of seen one eclipse, seen them all. It's kind of is the unfortunate thing about it, really, I guess. Yeah, it's still cool. The thing I do remember most watching was... I can't quite remember what it was. I think it was being able to watch Mars pass in front of the sun, so you could see that, which is like something that only happens every few thousand years, or I can't remember precisely what it was. I think it was Mars, but it was positioned in such a way that you were able to see it crossing the surface of the sun, which is something that only happens every couple of hundred years or something like that. I remember our science teacher being like really enthusiastic about it. Oh bugger! I need to go and get the correct. Need to go and get the correct colors. Please, for God's sake, Frontier. Can we please have an option to favorite some colors? My word. Oh, that might have been it, Rob. It might have been the one in 1999 that I remember. Oh, that was a hell of a year, 1999. The imminent arrival of the millennium. Everyone freaking out over the millennium bug, which basically came to nothing. I remember watching them building the Millennium Wheel, as it was then called, in London on the Thames, but it's now known as the London Eye. But originally, it was the Millennium Wheel. Watching them build it was quite cool. That's better. Although not a big fan of these sticking out of there. Ah, that's why. Eh. I think they're okay. Sort out these blobs. This definitely needs to be improved. That's the wrong color. Ah. There we go. Fletcher, what would your ideal DLC be for the game? Well, Untamable King, I'm not going to reveal that just yet because I literally have a video to come on that subject. But I do personally feel that a Lagoon DLC would be the best thing to come. And, you know, it would have to be a Lagoon expansion as well. Like, not a wimpy ass just animal DLC. I want like a proper expansion. I suppose if you were talking about like an animal pack, I honestly kind of think a Triassic pack is still possible. You know, Postosuchus might have gone, but there are still lots of other animals. Plateosaurus, Tanistropheus, Pitinosaurus, that sort of thing. Hello, Nuna. I mean, I do also think some more Permian period representation would be good. You know, we have Dimetrodon, but we have nothing else from its time period. So, you know, Edaphosaurus, Scutosaurus, Gorgonopsids, Moschops. You know, there's lots of possibility there. I'll tell you what we don't need. We don't need any more sauropods. Apart from the ones we, you know, are expecting back. So, Camarasaurus, Nigersaurus. We don't need any more ceratopsians. I don't think we need any more hadrosaurs. I think we're good for them. And I don't think we need any more small carnivores, because again, I think we're good for those as well. I think we need medium-sized carnivores, big theropods and more unusually shaped creatures like a Dilophosaurus and that sort of thing. See, the problem with small animals is that the game still just does not have a good way of displaying them. And in my eyes, I just don't think they should be added until we have a good way of displaying them. Like, if they were going to do a DLC that changed how we display small animals and give us proper path viewing and stuff like that, then yeah, I'd be all for that. But at the present time, I think small animals are just kind of wasted. What's happened there? Much better. It's strange though, as much as I criticize the modular building in this game, I have found it easier to get into than Prehistoric Kingdoms, and I just don't know why. I think it might be because this game kind of has generic styles, which makes it easier to kind of build from to begin with. Whereas with Prehistoric Kingdom, you're kind of having to figure out like a style entirely yourself. And that's really difficult to kind of do. There's glass here and there. Let's get rid of them as well. What is going on in chat that I've missed? Pancakes. What are you lot talking about? Have I missed something? This chat has gone rogue about breakfast. So what, you Americans have a weird idea of what breakfast is. Been talking to my buddy who lives in Las Vegas about this. You Americans have some weird ideas about what breakfast should be. Like, why are you putting chicken with waffles? That's just weird. Chicken with sweet waffles? That's so strange. It's better. It looks better. I like it. Big blueprint. This is higher up than this. That one. Americans eat diabetes for breakfast. Yeah, possibly. Ah, my DIN hatchery. This was like one of the first DIN things I ever built. There is nothing wrong with baked beans, Basti. Do not insult the baked bean. Everything is wrong with baked beans for breakfast. Baked beans on toast is the perfect meal for any time of the day. It's healthy too. Good source of fiber. Who has chicken for breakfast? Exactly, who has chicken for breakfast? Fucking strange Americans with this strange diet. It's much nicer. Let's put a proper door in there, I think. Big chunks of metal. I love how divisive the subject of what makes an appropriate breakfast is in the chat. Just makes me laugh. I regret nothing. That I always have some orange on my buildings. Much better. bagels are fine, but it's just bread in the shape of a donut. It doesn't make it like a donut. Where is the hatchery? Right, well, I'm basically going to carry on fixing up these buildings and then hopefully figure out how to make a collection for them once I've done so. So, I'm just going to keep going on with this, but I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you everyone for tuning in while I've been doing this relatively boring stream. Friday I will be back, but I probably won't be playing Evolution 3. Oh, actually... maybe we will. Maybe I'll start on my next sandbox build, which will be a species testing, to rebuild the species testing map that I had in Evolution 2, that I might rebuild in Evolution 3. So we might get started on that. Or we might play something different. I'll have a think. But yeah, I'm going to keep on with this and hopefully figure out how to do a collection. And I will see you folks on Friday. There is a video coming on Thursday, so I hope you guys watch that. And yeah, don't forget to like the stream as well. So helps us with the algorithm. But until Friday, I hope you all enjoy the rest of your evenings. Stay safe, and good night.